and welcome to the wonderful Winkle. So, first walk, exciting times. After a lot of thought, there could only be one place I had to start these walks, and that's here, a little village called Winkle, right on the border of Staffordshire and Cheshire. For me, this is my go-to walk, a walk that it's just got a little bit of everything for me. It's got the beautiful Dane River, it's got fantastic woodlands, it's got open countryside, it's got sights along the way, we've got Lud's Church and Hanging Stone, and at the end of the walk you've got a brewery and a pub that sells fantastic food and is dog friendly. What more could you want? We come over the Dane Bridge just into Staffordshire and you'll see the footpath on your left signposted Gradbach. Just literally as you come over that you'll see another stile on your right that takes you up some steps through into the woodland. This then continues over to some farmland, which brings you up to the path that takes you to Hanging Stone. From Hanging Stone, it's right across the tops to with beautiful views of the Roaches, and then we'll head up towards the Roaches or towards Roach End. But before we get there, we take a left on a path that's clearly signposted Lud's Church. It will drop down into some more woodland, and that path will then take us across through to Lud's Church. We go through Lud's Church, and the path from Lud's Church then drops down back to the river in a little place called Gradbach, where we'll have a bit of a breather and the dogs can have a swim. And then it's pretty much follows the river back all the way to this point here. It's a simple walk, it's a beautiful walk, and it's a fantastic day, so come on, let's make the most of it. Come on, guys. So we've come up through the woodland. We've now come over the stile at the top to the farmland. There's quite often sheep and lambs here, so make sure you pop your dogs on a lead. I don't actually think I've introduced you yet, have I? This is Roy, who's my border collie come across dingo, come across whatever, rescue dog. And this is Neve, my wonderful pedigree, supposedly, border collie dog. They're both beautiful dogs. I put a lot of time into training these dogs with their recall, with getting the chase instinct out of them. So I am fairly confident that you know, they are safe, but around livestock I always make sure they're on leads just to be on the safe side. And whenever I'm in an open area where there could be ground nesting birds, I make sure that they're always on the path and never stray off into the undergrowth where they can disturb things. If you're the slightest bit, you know, dubious about your confidence in your dog, then just keep them on a lead. There's quite a lot of this walk that you can have your dogs off lead if, again, you've got good control over them. That is one of the reasons I love this walk so much. But just while we go through the farmland here, I do know that quite often there's sheep here, so we'll pop them on the lead until we get up towards Hanging Stone. Climb out onto the rock, the views are truly breathtaking. And this precariously looking outcrop, which is on the back forest ridge, overlooks Swithinley Hall, which was once the home of the Brocklehurst family, who owned the Roaches estate until the death of the last in line in 1978. The rock is special not just because of its weird position and its marvellous outlook, but because it has two inscriptions. One, which is for a much-loved dog that is said to be buried beneath the rock, and the other is for Lieutenant Courtney Brocklehurst, the man responsible for the presence of wallabies on the Roaches. There's a three-way signpost here, one up to the Roaches, which is the way we're going to go. We're not actually going as far as the Roaches, but it is a signposted down here to Gradbach and Lodge Church, which you can actually get to it, but I prefer going this way because you cut through down into some more woodland, and the entrance into Lodge Church is much more spectacular, in my opinion. From here on, it's a steady climb up to the ridge of the hill. The views from this part of the hill look out over Staffordshire, Cheshire, and if you look behind you, over into Derbyshire. A little further along, you'll see the path starting to descend towards a gate in the wall. Once through the gate, follow the sign heading for Lodge Church. This will descend down the hillside into some woodland. On a hot day like today, it's really nice to drop down into the shady coolness of this birch woodland. This part of the woodland can get quite boggy when it's really wet. It's only a short walk of a few hundred yards before you'll start realising you're heading down in towards Lud's Church. It's hard to believe that this little path can take you to something quite significant. Suddenly you're walking right down into it. The atmosphere instantly changes, and even on the hottest days the temperature plummets. The Lollards, who were followers of John Wycliffe, an earlier church reformer, are supposed to have used this place as a place of worship during the early 15th century when they were being persecuted for their religious beliefs. The underlying grey-brown rock is almost entirely covered with algae, mosses and ferns in various shades of vivid green, all dripping with moisture in this perfect damp microclimate. A wooden ship's figurehead from the ship Swithinley formerly stood on a high niche above the chasm, placed there by Philip Brocklehurst, then the landowner, which was around 1862. You can quite often get this whole place to yourself, and it really is an eerie feeling to be here on your own. It is said that at midday on the summer solstice that the sun shines directly into Lud's Church. I'm not quite sure if this is true. A word of warning, this place can be really slippy and very muddy when the weather's wet. This really is the highlight of the walk for me. So this is Gradbach, not a bad spot to have a breather, maybe a cup of tea or something, if it's brought one. There is a cafe just up the way there, which is a really nice spot next to the mill, but I'm just going to push on and get back to Winkle after the dogs had a bit of a cool down in the river. You often see red deer around here, especially if you come in the morning. I don't see any now. I had a herd of about 15 come across my path a few weeks ago. The footpath comes up from the river, and we just looking down at side a few years ago collapsed into the Dane, completely blocking the river, so it had to find another way around like rivers do, but that seems to be eroding the whole of this hillside now, so I can imagine this footpath is going to get affected in the next few years. Must have made some noise. Come on. You'll come out of the woodland and head up a slight hill across some farmland. And you'll soon see this beautifully refurbished former farmhouse, which is currently managed as a holiday cottage by the Back Dane Trust. It was purchased in 1977 so that children from inner city areas could enjoy weekend breaks in the countryside. I wonder sometimes what it is about walking that I love. And it's many things. I just find it really, really good for the soul to be amongst nature and just to experience sort of the great outdoors. It keeps you fit, but most of all it's free. The odd car park charge, and that's probably what I like most people would say. So that's pretty much it. That's Winkle to Gradbach via Hanging Stone and Lud's Church. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and I hope we've inspired you to maybe come and explore this part of the world, which is, I'm sure you'll agree, is a really beautiful part of the world. I think we're going to go and get some refreshments now. Shall we go to the pub and get some doggy dinners and a drink? Yeah, they actually do doggy dinners. So please let me know what you think of the film. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down, whatever. Comment. Let me know how you think we could improve it and make it more useful to you. And please share. Let the world know about these fantastic walks. So I hope you can join me for my next walk, which again is going to be a lovely walk. I can't tell you too much about it yet, but I can guarantee you one thing. It's going to make you feel alive. Come on, guys. Are you going to have a doggy dinner? Are you going to have a doggy dinner? Mr. Roy.